Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy over here back on the Madden 17, and today I got a video for you guys, and this is a story time video. Now, I'm sure you guys are like, yeah, story time videos. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Now, this is definitely a different video, and one that I didn't think I was ever going to bring as far as story time videos, because this actually isn't my story. It's my mom's boyfriend's story. Now, I was hanging out with them on Monday for Labor Day. We went to Cedar Point, had a bunch. We had good times. It was definitely really fun. But before we went, the night before, god damn, I got fucking sliced up in my cookie. Before we went, we were sitting around outside. We were cooking out, and they were getting a little drink, a little bit of drinking, drunken, and he ended up telling me the story, all of us the story, and it is absolutely hilarious. So I feel like I had to share it with you guys, and I'm not gonna give out any names, obviously, because you could probably look this up. Because yeah, this is probably this actually. I mean, I did look it up and I found the reports for it. It's actually fucking hilarious. So, anyways. So, we live in the flats of Cleveland. Well, we all do. I don't live with them, obviously, but flats of Cleveland. Well, I don't live in the flats. Okay, 7. I'm not, guys. This story takes place in like the late 70s, early 80s in the flats of Cleveland. Now, if you guys don't know what the flats of Cleveland are, the flats are a very low-budget place, low-budget neighborhood for low-budget families. Basically, it's where a lot of people live. I don't know if you guys know what Section 8 is, but it's where people live, where the government pays for everything. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm completely against it, but the problem is, whenever you get something for free, you don't really care about it as much because you didn't spend your money on it. So the problem is with these neighborhoods where they live there completely free, they completely terrorize and destroy every fucking thing in these neighborhoods, which is why the flats of Cleveland is not a good area, because pretty much everybody lives there for free. So the neighborhood is absolutely trash. Everything's destroyed. Now, that's not all of them, but it's most of the people that live there, unfortunately. So that's why the flats of Cleveland isn't a very good place to be, which is why you don't really hear about it. So anyways, so flats of Cleveland, they're in the flats of Cleveland. Now, this family that is living there, actually, they're pretty rich. My mom's boyfriend is hanging out with these people, and they're pretty rich. There's a few people of them back in the 70s and 80s, so they're, teenager. And so they're pretty rich. They definitely don't belong in the flats. They just live there because they want their boy to be hanging out with some kids from the flats of Cleveland. It's not as bad back then as it was now. Like now, it's really bad, but back then it wasn't nearly as bad. But it's still not that good. But so they actually have a boat on Cedar Point. They have a boat, boats and hoes on Cedar Point. So they decide that they're going to go onto this boat / yacht thing and go ahead and drink. Now, do a little bit of underage drinking on a boat, because why not? Actually, this might not have been underage drinking, because I know that the drinking laws changed at some point. You were able to buy alcohol at 18, and now it's 21. Yeah. So anyways, they're regardless, they are drinking and they are drunk and they are on a yacht. Now, it's a completely side story. What is the point of having a yacht? Now, a lot of people would be like, oh, throw a party on it. Yeah, throw a party in your house. Get a pool. Don't get a yacht. That's a waste of money. Anyways, so they're on a yacht, they're partying, and they're drinking, because that's the only thing you really can do on a yacht. So they're partying, they're drinking, and they finally get drunk. And when they're drunk, the people that he's hanging out with are already bad people. They're already like, they already have like, not, what is it? They're on probation. So they're already doing wrong. They're already doing in the wrong. They're doing wrong things that are wrong. It's wrong. So, drunk guy who owns the yacht, well, parents own the yacht, is like, you know what? Let's go to Burger King and get food, bro. And I'm imagining the initial reaction was, yeah, bro, let's get some food, bro, because they're all drunk as shit. So they're like, yeah, let's go to Burger King. So they're gonna go to Burger King, and that's where they go. So in order to get there, they don't have vehicles. So the guy decides to go ahead and steal his mother's car. Now, like I said, they're rich, so he steals his mom's brand new Chrysler. Pretty expensive car, I would say. In fact, there wasn't a lot in the neighborhood, obviously, so it was pretty easy to point out, who's, like if per se, it was reported stolen, they would know what car it is, because there isn't that many. It's very easy to spot out. And in this case, it was spotted stolen because they stole their mom's vehicle. So the cops are on lookout for this stolen Chrysler vehicle with, they don't even like know who it is, because the guy didn't say like, Mom, I'm taking your goddamn car and we're going to Burger King. So the cops are looking out for this goddamn car and they don't know who's in it. So anyways, they pull into Burger King, and stuff happens, and he ends up slamming into the sign. Now, my mom's boyfriend wasn't driving, the drunk asshole was driving. So the guy ends up slamming into the sign where, you talk into it and you give your order. So he slams into the microphone, and the drive-through employee is just like, freaking out. I wasn't there so I didn't get to hear it, but I imagine he's just going like, a little something like that, freaking out, absolutely, probably exactly, that's probably exactly what he's sounding like. So he goes outside to take a look and make sure that everything's going A-okay. So he goes to get out. He's going out and he's trying to make sure everyone's okay. He was worried about their safety. So he goes, "Hey, are you guys okay?" And this intelligent guy that he is just, the safest driver in the world, decides to floor it in reverse. Throw it in reverse, floor it, and while doing so, he slammed into someone parked in the parking lot behind him. So he slams into the sign, employee comes out to see if he's okay, throws it in reverse, slams into someone else's car. So now they've made 2 collisions, one head-on, and he backed up into the other one. The employee, still worried about their safety, comes out and he's looking into the car to make sure everything's okay. He said, "Guys, are you okay?" And the intelligent driver that he is decides to go ahead and sucker punch this poor batch in the face, hit him right in his goddamn chin and knocked him out cold. So this poor employee that's just getting paid minimum wage, just trying to do his thing, trying to make sure that this guy's okay, and he gets his shit kicked in. Now, I wasn't there, but I'd imagine that he got hit so goddamn hard, he's probably having flashbacks, he probably got hit, and he's like reliving like his whole life choices, because his ass was out cold. And they're like, you know what? Let's take off. So now the stolen car is linked with a hit and run. Yeah, so go ahead and think about that. A stolen car is now linked with a hit and run. Now they're going to assume that the people who stole this car are dangerous. So my poor mom's boyfriend is involved with this dangerous bunch of people in this stolen vehicle, and he's just drunk. He's just trying to get food. So at this point, I'd imagine he's a little bit upset, and he just wants to get food. And finally, cops pull up next to them. Now, I don't know if obviously the cops knew who they were. They pull up next to them, they look into the vehicle, and they flash their lights while, up next to them. They're stopped at a red light, and it's 2-lane traffic. And the cop is next to what is in the left lane. They're in the right lane. And the cop looks over at the driver, and the driver makes eye contact with him. And the police turn on the lights. At this point, they knew they were pretty fucked. So what he decides to do is the smartest thing that any very reasonable man would do. He turns to my mom's boyfriend, and then turns back to the cop, proceeds to flick him off, and then gooses it through the red light. Now, I could just see the cops just wondering, like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? He just gooses it straight through this red light, into traffic, not giving a goddamn, because God forbid he is not going to jail, even though his rich parents could probably just get him out of jail pretty much instantaneously. He gooses it through this red light. He is not going to get caught by the cops, and they decide they're going to go take the freeway and escape these goddamn cops. Now, they're flooring it down this freeway, and this, the divided freeway. And unfortunately, they're going to dodge a car that was attempting to merge into traffic. It was attempting to merge into the lane to the next to the car. So unfortunately for them, they kind of get rammed off the road and into the guardrail. Now they didn't hit the guardrail head on; they hit it enough to flip the vehicle and roll over on its side, and then slide across the pavement for about 40 to 50 feet, probably actually more than that. But it slid for a while on its head. Now this is where the story gets really good. I know you're like, it's really good. So the vehicle comes to a stop. My mom's boyfriend looks up at the guy while they're hanging upside down in the car. The cops are right on their tail. The car is upside down. They flipped over. They just finished sliding. My mom's boyfriend got a seatbelt on in the passenger seat, and the driver also has seatbelt on. They're both sitting there upside down with their seatbelts on. My mom's boyfriend looks at him. They make eye contact for a good 13, 14 seconds, and then he says, this isn't really all that bad. And I could just, at that point, I feel for it. I feel for the guy. Of course, it is pretty bad. He turns to him and he says, it's not really that bad. And the guy freaks out. He rips off his seatbelt and is gonna take off. He takes off. He's got a broken ankle, so he's not going anywhere. He gets tackled brought down after a gain of about 15 yards, gets his ass handcuffed, and that's pretty much the end of it. My mom's boyfriend pretty much got away with everything. Other than he was drunk. He was just in the car. It wasn't necessarily his fault. So the other guy goes to jail for evading arrest, probably underage drinking, bunch of shit like that, public panic, all sorts of shit. So he gets in trouble, but he pretty much gets out, pretty much right away. Because back then, I guess they didn't really care what the fuck he did. I wish I could live back then. That's it for the story. It's the story, guys. If you guys want to see more stories, definitely let me know. Next time, I'll for sure do one of my own stories, hopefully, because I really don't like telling other stories. But that one was just so funny how to tell you guys. So if you guys like it, definitely give it a like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. It's going to be down in the description below, as always, guys. Bye.